I've just finished training at the gym and I've been thinking a few things over because I'll be honest with you, I've not been in too good a mood the past few days. I'll freely admit that. And I'll freely admit that I am not the most perfect person in the whole wide world. I have my flaws. But I'm going to talk a little bit about people like me who do actually have very big hearts. We do care an awful lot about people, and we want to make sure that people are alright, people are safe, and we work very hard to improve ourselves. And we find a very difficult time to say no to people because we really don't want to disappoint people. I actually really don't want to disappoint. In a little bit of a way, I am a people pleaser. A little bit, and I'll freely confess that. I like to do things that make people happy. I like to do things that make myself happy as well, and I thoroughly believe my own happiness depends on myself, but I do like to ensure that people who I know, if they've got having a difficult time or if they need caring for, I try to care for them. And people say, oh, we want people with big hearts, want this, want that, the other, and you know, to be quite frank with you, no you don't, because all too often with those of us who have a very big capacity to care for other people, we have a very big capacity to show very big amounts of care, love, whatever it is, we also feel way bigger as well. So those things that upset us, we have just as big a capacity to be upset and to be angry, to be pissed off and everything else. And when we do, we really do. And it's intensified. And it's not the nicest thing in the world. And we take an awful lot of work to really rein those emotions in. And when we have people that upset us and we keep it reined in because we know that we can be really harsh, we can really do damage with words if we turn around and say it, because with all the emotion inside, all pent up, all in there, we have a real capacity to turn around and really vent it all. And then people get upset and they wonder why. And they went, oh, well, why there was no need for that, there's no need for that. And we're like, when we sit here, well, you don't mind it when we show the same amount, when it's all nice and when it's all thing and stuff like that. But as soon as we feel something, it may not seem much to others, but for us, it really is a very big deal. Really is a huge deal. And because we know that, we keep it in control. We keep it to ourselves. And I know there's a lot of people like me out there who are exactly the same. Exactly the same. Now, I'm quite happy to turn around and say most of the time I have it in control. I have it locked down. I know what can upset me. I deal with it in the gym. I deal with my daily life, and I find time for myself to let it all go. The thing is, it isn't easy. And the reason why I'm doing this on this channel today is because I want to reach out to those people who are the same. I want to reach out and say, you know what? Just sometimes you've got to really turn around and say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm not dealing with this. I've had enough of this. I'm going to make my feelings known. We have just as much right to let our own feelings be known and to turn around and say that's not acceptable at all. Now, if people can't accept that, then that's their problem. If they can, great, but if they can't, then that's their problem. I tend not to worry too much anymore about if someone can or cannot handle it. Now, unfortunately, for those of us, it's very hard to form attachments to people, which is why I tend to keep my social circle very small indeed, and I tend to just kind of focus on my life, who I am, where I'm going, and to deal with the problems that I have as the best I can. So I just want people to know, if they feel that way and if they are that way, you're not alone. It isn't easy, and sometimes it sucks. It's absolutely, it really is. It really hurts, and you know what? It's like a deep stabbing pain right down inside, and there are just times you just kind of need to just either, if you don't let it go, or if you don't channel it, and it's alright people saying, oh, why do you write this? Why do you write this on Facebook? Or why do you do this? Well, how about this? How about people start taking time to understand that that's how you deal with things? And I'll be honest, I would much rather go on Facebook, blast things out, get things out in the open, put it all on Facebook, and turn around and just literally nuke my whole damn page, because that way I personally feel I'm not lambasting one person with my feelings or anything. I'm just setting off in a place where really it can do no harm. It's on social media, and as we all know, social media these days is a lot of tripe, apart from a very select few people who do actually put things on to help. So I tend to let it diffuse in an already toxic environment where really it's not going to do any harm. So then I don't really go out to hurt anybody, because as soon as I do and say to someone this, people tend to get defensive and all that kind of stuff, and you know what, I'm not dealing with any of that. So if you do have a big heart, you do have big feelings, you like me or anything, just do what you need to make yourself feel okay. And as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, and you're dealing with it, and you're dealing with it in a productive fashion, then hey, move forwards in life, become better, and deal with things your way. And it really doesn't matter if other people think you should do it differently. You got to do what you feel you can do to express and to say, this is how I feel. Alright? Nobody needs to agree with you or anything else like that. It doesn't matter if anybody agrees or disagrees with you. That's the other thing. Just remember, the only person that really needs to approve of yourself is yourself. So just, you know, ways I find dealing with how I feel is to get into the gym, to take it out, to focus it, to keep it all, place it in the gym where I can utilize it and let it out, and then let it go. Or save it. I go get a shower, I just get a shower, just wash it off, and I'll let things subside. And believe me, you know, it does help. And I'm also going to turn around and say, you're not going to get everything right. You're not going to get everything right all the time. None of us do. None of us are perfect. So just remember that, and be kinder to yourself.